Woodlands of North Dakota.
North Dakota is a prairie state. North Dakota is a prairie state. A prairie is a large treeless region covered with grasses and forbs, or wildflowers. North Dakota, however, is not entirely treeless. Almost 2% of the state, or about 700,000 acres, is a woodland. An acre is a piece of land approximately the size of a football field. A woodland is a land covered with woods or trees. A forest is a plant community of trees, shrubs, and herbaceous plants that cover an area. Herbaceous plants are plants that do not have woody stems. Layers of a forest. Dominant trees. Trees that are not shaded by other trees make more food through photosynthesis and grow to greater heights than shaded trees. These are the tallest and the largest in a forest. Canopy. Trees that grow between the dominant trees get sunlight from the top but not from the sides. These trees grow to be the medium-sized. The crowns of the dominant and medium-sized trees form the canopy or roof of the forest. Understory. Below the canopy is another layer of vegetation. The canopy shades the understory. So less light is available, the understory consists of the smaller trees and shrubs. Forest floor. Ground level of a forest. It includes fallen leaves and branches, dead trees and other plants. The forest floor is a busy place, serving as the home of the small mammals and other wildlife.
Crazy.
Types of trees. The various species of trees are divided into two groups. Deciduous trees, hardwoods. Lose their leaves each fall, have larger, wider leaves, have more branches and rounder crowns. Coniferous trees, softwoods. Leaves, needles are narrow and sharp. Needles stay green all year long, often called evergreens. Trees are triangular shaped, commonly used as Christmas trees. Native forests, lowland deciduous forests. In the eastern and central part of North Dakota, most common American elm, the official state tree of North Dakota, and green ash. In the western part of North Dakota, most common cottonwood. Native forests, upland deciduous forests. The largest upland deciduous forest in the western part of the state is located in the Killdeer Mountains. Dominant trees are the aspen and bur oak.
1886. At one time, bur oak woodlands may have totally covered the Turtle Mountains. In 1886, the largest known forest fire in North Dakota occurred, burning almost the entire Turtle Mountain region. After the fire, fast-grown aspens trees grew in the burning areas. The shade of these trees prevented bur oak from sprouting because bur oak does not grow well in the shade.
Native forests. Western coniferous forests located in the Badlands of southwest North Dakota. Dominant trees, ponderosa pine and Rocky Mountain juniper. Between 1881 and 1908, large stands of ponderosa pine were logged by the railroad companies by the Euro-American white settlers. The railroad was used the pine timber for railroad ties on which to lay the rocks. Settlers needed their wood for building materials and fence posts. Late 1800s. The people in the rural North Dakota have been planting trees ever since the Euro-American settlers began moving to the treeless prairie in the late 1800s. A U.S. government program called the Timber Culture Act even gave free land to people who planted from 10 to 40 acres of trees on the prairie and kept them alive. Rural planting shelter belts are consistent of long rows of trees. They are not only provide shelter from the wind, but they also help control wind erosion, carrying away of soil, reduce water evaporation from soil on farmland, and supply cover for livestock, farm animals, and wildlife. Snow fences keep snow from drifting onto railroad and other places where it could cause problems. Rows of trees and bushes that block the snow are called living snow fences. Woodland vegetation. Trees are the tallest plants and generally have one leg, large woody stem called a trunk. Shrubs are shorter and smaller plants than trees. Rather than having a trunk, shrubs have several smaller woody stems. Vines are plants that twist along the ground or climb up shrubs and trees in order to reach sunlight. Herbacées. Non-woody plants of the woodlands include grasses, forbs, and non-flowering plants.